This short video is a compilation of clips of 24 different guitars that I've fabricated and installed compensated nuts in my home shop over this last couple of months. I hope you feel inspired. Enjoy.
Hi everybody, Mike McConville here one more time, Stratford, Ontario, Canada for StringTechWorkstations. This is a beautiful Gibson ES355. Jim drove up from upper state New York. He could not keep this guitar in tune, and you could see there's been several attempts here at the nut, and I noticed that in the last couple of Gibson customs that I did compensated nuts on. This one's definitely getting a compensated nut. That they tried to reduce the sort of friction at the nut by reducing the point of contact. So you can see that the strings don't disappear into a groove there. And that's all fine and well, and I think that's a good move, but that's not the issue, and that's not why you can't tune these short scale guitars. You've heard me say it enough times before. You have to have a compensated nut to get these things to behave. Remove this nut. This nut has been replaced once before. Anyway, we'll put that compensated nut on and cover it up as best we can. So there we go. We got our compensated nut. So now we can glue this thing into place. The values have been kind of finalized for the compensated nut. Now we do all of the final finessing on that nut. This tele tunes more accurately than it ever tuned. I've now prepared the compensated nut blank for this guitar. This is Gary's American Tele. So both compensated nuts have been cut. I've been through this enough times. I've got dozens of videos out there demonstrate this. But we're going to walk you through it one more time. We have our compensated nut. We've canted that crown back to match the headstock tilt. I have a box of leftover Gibson nuts from 335s, SGs, Les Pauls over the years. So I've got a few of these intact, original Gibson nuts that I use as a guideline. And you have seen this. There's a couple of other videos where I've demonstrated this. So we get it started here. I got a 26 thou Hosco file that you get anywhere online. We've got our centers marked. Now we go to the guitar. I've approximated the values for the intonation. Ready to put the strings on now. As you can see, the nut was replaced once already, but there's something a little wonky about that. And of course the compensated nut is done. And this is how clean the Les Paul nut should come out. I'm using the leftover fragment of the original Les Paul nut, and I'm using that to get the string spacing to be a perfect match to the original nut. I mean, I don't normally put it back in the guitar at this stage, but I'm just really doing it for your sake. And I've got another 7-string guitar here for Brad. I just want to show you, I have that brass strip ahead of the locking nut bed. That has been intonated for this tuning. So I'm just doing all the final sort of adjustments on this. Okay, that ramp back is now cut. We've used the original nut to get those initial lines across the crown of our new compensated nut. I've done at least 2 or 3 videos on this already, but we'll show you again. Basically score those initial lines across the crown. That's where we start. Okay, we've put that elliptical curve on the front end, got rid of all the sort of notches. Now we can put the strings on and start filing those slots to their final depth before we do the final intonation values. And this is what we end up with now. And remember I said about that little bit of forgiveness? I can still adjust that side to side ever so slightly if I need to. The other side. And remember, this is a good, firm press fit. No tightness or looseness. This is part of the structural integrity of the headstock. So you got to make sure you get a good, snug fit. Now that all the final values have been cut and adjusted for perfect intonation, we'll just twirl some glue in there. We'll now press fit into place for the final time. Okay, we're just finishing up the compensated nut. John can kiss his tuning problems goodbye forever. This compensated nut is done. It was a bit of an optical illusion doing that final filing. Like I said in previous videos, when you get on the home stretch with these things, man, every stroke of the file counts. This one's done, signed, sealed, delivered. I do need to give credit where credit is due. Even the scallop thing is not my thing. The job was done expertly. In the meantime, we're back to our compensated nut. When you see all the work that goes into making a compensated nut, doing it properly, you definitely want to err on the side of caution and leave those strings a bit too high so that you have the luxury when you're doing your final filing to spread the strings out for perfect spacing string to string. Sticking that feeler gauge under to show you, I leave about 32 thou sort of forgiveness, you know, between the top of the crown of the fret and the underside of the string. And that gives you enough to kind of play with. You need that little bit of forgiveness in the height, so you got some material to work with. Just wanted to point that out before I finish filing this out. This is Dan's 30-year-old Martin D18 that was in. We put that compensated nut on, did a fret dress. Of course, we've got our compensated nut, and that is intonated for 10 to 46 strings at concert pitch.
My apologies, I kind of ran out of space on the titles page here at the end to list all of the guitars that are in this short little clip. But I think you guys get the idea. There's a couple of dozen examples here, from Martin to Fender to Gibson. Cheers.